Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to another Nerd Nation stream. We are talking The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4. Today I'm here with Gaz. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing really well.
This has been a really, really good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Lots to talk about. I'm going to talk about my new favorite character as well very shortly. We can already see him on the screen, by the way. So let's get into the notes. Gary, you ready for this?
Yep.
All right. First of all, before we start talking about this episode, just a quick run-all. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
the best episode so far.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to see Disney, pushing boundaries a little bit and not necessarily being what we all think they are, which is people who don't want to push their own. Don't get me wrong, they could have still gone a lot further with this episode, in my opinion, if it wasn't held by a PG rating. It's still pretty good, nevertheless. So, here in episode 4, we start off with Bucky getting fixed in Wakanda. We see AO reciting the words that triggers the Winter Soldier in him. And when she finishes reciting these words, he's no longer triggered. And you can see the tears of joy in his face, that he is no longer under control by anything. And he is truly free. It was a great moment. Sebastian Stan's acting in that moment was fantastic, to show off that he was no longer under mind control. How did you see that initial beginning, boss man?
I thought it was really, really great because she disappears and then she talks to him about she wants to see Zemo, and then you receive that flashback to, I think it's 6 years ago.
6 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, where he's in front of that fire and she says, we'll make sure you don't hurt anyone, and then she starts saying the words and and he has flashbacks to things he did as the Winter Soldier, and then you see tears going down his eyes. She's like, you're free of it now, and it's just like God, he owes her everything. He owes her
he owes Wakanda everything, dude. They gave him asylum, a sanctuary. They gave him a new fucking arm. A better arm than before, probably. And they got rid of the mind control. They gave him everything. His arm itself, man. If he sold his arm, he could probably be set up for life. So
it's been a vibranium, isn't it?
Yeah. So we cut back to the ending of episode 3 and the beginning of episode 4. Io is with Bucky just outside the hotel. Sam and Zemo's in. She wants Zemo for obvious reasons. He killed fucking King T'Chaka, T'Challa's dad. And, she's feeling really pissed off about this. Fucking T'Chaka's died. Fucking T'Challa fucking died. He came back, obviously, but he did die. She might have died with him, actually. Who knows? So she's not taking any shit, but she gives him, Bucky tells her, look, this is a means to an end. We need him. Yeah, so she gives him 8 hours. And then from there, boss man, Bucky goes straight into the hotel, and he's not hiding it from these two. He tells them that the Wakandans are here and they're after Zemo. They also find out that the Flag Smashers, they bombed that facility in the last episode. So now there's a bit more to them than they realize. And they're actually debating if they should kill Carly or not, because, as far as Sam's concerned, she's just a kid. But Carly is becoming a terrorist now. Yeah, we're talking about Captain America, I know.
Well, it reminds me of a quote, and I don't know if you've ever heard this before. There's a quote that says, one person's I think it's about George Washington, that one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't think that they're leaning into that she's not necessarily a bad person. Just that she feels that things were better and without your heart to people there, that things were improved. When people weren't just breathing down people's necks and things were improved. So,
well, they're in the sort of last known location of where Carly was in Latvia. So this particular scene, it ends with Zemo grabbing some Turkish Delight, and he throws one to Sam, and he goes, Turkish Delight, irresistible. You have to know by now in the art of filmmaking that when that shit happens, that Turkish Delight is going to be coming into play.
Yeah.
and it did, obviously. And
It's Chekhov's gun. You don't introduce something without bringing it
yeah,
in.
yeah, exactly. So the trio being Sam, Bucky, and Zemo, they go down to Carly's last known location and they start asking people some questions, and many of them don't respond. And one of them does actually tell Sam that they won't say anything because they simply don't trust him. You know, like they were supposed, like since everyone came back, the people that were still around, and then initially they've lost everything.
By the way, this was very creepy. The way that people get to like disappearing into like little either get to like walking away or just you'd say that these things probably it's like very like spooky almost.
Well, you could tell that they knew everything because they didn't want to be speaking to anybody about anything, so they were trying to get out of the way. But that one dude,
I also love the fact that it's like Zemo who basically like uses like his mind. His manipulation to get information out of that kid.
Well, this is the thing, because unlike Sam and Bucky, Zemo was a dad. He is a father. He knows what it means to be a parent, and he approached those kids in the right way as a parent, you know. And even though it's unfortunate what's happened to his children, he still remembers, and he gave those kids sweets, got information, did the fatherly thing. And it worked for him. You know what I mean? Also giving those kids a bit of money later on also helps too. But he tells those kids as well, after getting information out of them about the location of Carly, because Carly's mentor was getting buried, and they kind of had an idea that if she's getting buried, then that's where Carly will be. So Zemo gets the information and then tells those kids, listen, those men, Sam and Bucky, they're bad guys. And not to trust them, which was pretty cool. I loved it, man. Did you like that bit there too?
Oh yeah, because he shows what a flaming manipulator Zemo is.
Yeah, for sure. So the trio, they go back to their hotel, and Zemo, he gives them a drip of information because he understands, that he's only as useful as they need him. And he's not going to give them too much. And he says, he's going to keep some of his information back for leverage. And Bucky gets pissed off.
I actually thought they were going to fight. He diffuses it by going, "You want some?"
It wasn't going to be a fight. It would be a massacre. As cunning as Zemo is, in a one-on-one fight against Bucky, he wouldn't last 5 minutes. Yeah, Bucky is also a skilled fighter, and he would kill Zemo in a heartbeat. And you saw that in Zemo after Bucky smashed the glass. Zemo shat himself, man. That was the first time I saw actual fear in Zemo's face. What's this fucker got to say now? Walker Zemo 2024. I'll take Zemo Walker 2024. I'll go that direction if Zemo's given the chance of the presidency, because he is an American after all. But you try telling that to Ted Cruz, that fucking Canadian. Bucky. Sorry. So where are we? So Sam obviously he diffuses the situation because he doesn't want shit to go down. He also gives a call to Sharon. He wants some help. From Sharon regarding some of the satellite detection stuff that she's able to get hold of, and we obviously see that come into play later on. Just to mention Sharon now, I'm pretty much sure that she was the flag smasher last episode.
You mean the power broker?
Power broker. Sorry, my bad. I think it's one of two things, by the way. She's either working with the flag smasher, with the power broker, or she's actually could be working with the flag smashers. I thought that could be a possibility too, because she's on the run. She has been let down by her government. They fucking made her a fucking convict. A felon. And I thought that was a possibility, but with this episode, I'm a bit more confused of what she could be, because when we did see her, she was walking around a lot of henchmen-looking dudes, and no one was giving a fuck about her.
Right, I have a really firm idea of who the power broker is going to be now.
Not fucking Apocalypse, no?
No, it's not going to be Apocalypse.
Okay, fair enough.
It's going to be Dr. Doom.
In this, listen, yes. I know.
Here's why.
No, you have a.
I'll tell you my reason that you can argue against it.
Right? Okay.
Dr. Doom's deal is that he wants power. And he wants as much power as he wants. So what could get him that power would be a shitload of people like Captain America. He wants to take over the world. And that's literally like what he wants to do. So how best to get there? That's the reason he wanted all those, Super Soldier Flaming Vials, because that way he can get what he wants. That's the reason he's the power broker. Because if he says, because again, that's my suggestion.
See, look, I would love Doom to be the power broker, but this is pre-Doom before he gets the powers.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
I would like that too. At the same time, I think Doctor Doom is such a high caliber character that I can't see them bringing them in on a television show. And I want to be wrong on this. That's why I'm only saying, because what you're bringing up with Doctor Doom makes way more sense. Yeah, to a degree. I think maybe more sense that the fact that he should be closer to he should be in Latveria, which is possibly Latvia. They might not even do a Latveria and just go with
like
the real Latvia instead. But I feel he would be more in the movies, a reveal in the movies, and definitely I think if they're going to bring him in, they're more likely give him with the traditional heroes he goes up against with the Fantastic Four. I think he.
Okay.
Look, I don't know. I genuinely don't know, but
I reckon it's going to be some villain that we know from the.
I don't want it to be a huge. Look, whoever the power broker for me is going to be one of two things: somebody brand new, which I'm totally fine with, yeah, or somebody we know, but he's not major. If they do bring somebody in, somebody not of that tier of Doctor Doom, you know what I mean?
So maybe like MODOK, or maybe like the leader.
Even then, like you know who some people said the power broker could be. It could still be the AI of Zola. You know what I mean?
Could be.
And that could be, and that's more MODOK, isn't he? Zola, is that correct?
No, MODOK's a different person.
They're very similar. That's why I always fucking.
They are very similar.
Yeah,
I don't know, but again, I think it's good to speculate. I don't think it's going to be Sharon though. The way that, she said, he's threatening us and blah blah blah. I don't think Sharon's the type to threaten anybody. I mean, she's like 110-pound skinny ass white woman. I don't think she has any intimidation.
Yeah, but I'm not thinking of her like that. I did think of her influence and her knowledge and the fact that she still can take care of herself. We saw her what she was like against those goons. She fucking took them, man. She took them, and she was taking 2 or 3 of them at a time. So I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it could be Sharon, and again, if it is Sharon, fair enough. But again, I'd like them to build her up a bit more. If she's,
I just felt there was less information on who the power broker is still the big mystery of this show, and if they're going to leave it till the end, and personally, if they're going to bring the power broker in, they should have revealed him early if he was a new guy. If he ends up being a new guy and they reveal him at the end as a new guy, then it's not going to be much of a twist. That's the thing.
Unless it's the character that we've already met, and it's like that they've always been like Agatha.
Yeah,
even more in the background, do you like they did with Mysterio? That he was in the background of places, and we didn't notice it. It's like, oh, that guy.
Oh, look, let's keep going anyway. Carly gets the last of the serum from the hiding spot in the graveyard, and she talks to a friend about how. And her friend tells Carly how he was actually a Captain America fanboy, which is kind of interesting because later on they obviously talk about killing Captain America, and you can see a conflicted look on that guy's face. But it's obviously not Steve Rogers they're talking about. They're talking about Walker here. Anyway, but sorry, I apologize. I was reading my notes here. But now the same dude who used to idolize Steve Rogers considers somebody like Carly to be more like Captain America, which is kind of interesting.
Well, because he talked about his grandfather who was in the Holocaust and stuff like that, and thought it was a resistant fighter for the Polish as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because he talks about that little grave site because it's his grave is his granddad's grave where
is that where they hid the serum?
Where they get the serum from? Yeah, he says that my grandfather was a resistant fighter, and I think that's the way they see that the Avengers are like the oppressive power. As I said, I think this whole show is a bit of a anti maybe BLM thing. I mean, I don't want to say that, but
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I think it's showing different. I think it's showing a lot of grey in all types of shit. whether it be people who perceive to be good guys or the freedom fighters or the terrorists or the fucking oppressors. You know, like there's so much gray, which is what I like about this. Like, you know, the good guys are not truly good guys. The bad guys are not truly bad guys. At the same time, you know, everything seems to be fucked up. It's fascinating. You know, like trying to keep everyone happy is impossible. Anyway, I'm going to call him Captain America because that's who he fucking is. Captain America and Lamar confront the trio, which is Zemo, Sam, and Bucky, and saying that their shit has gone too far and Zemo needs to go to jail. Now, I can totally see it from their perspective. Zemo is a top-tier fucking terrorist who's been sprung out of fucking jail. Yeah, he's on the run. And go on, please.
I think this scene was genius, and I'll explain why. Because it sets up, Walker's, jealousy and his over eagerness to prove himself. Because throughout this entire series, he's been trying to prove himself as being as good as Steve Rogers is. Yeah,
the whole time. But it wasn't to do with his record; it was to do with character, and we'll get to that. But he's trying to stop. You know, he said that that Sam and Bucky have gone too far. Zemo needs to go to jail. But Zemo tells them, "Listen, we're close to getting Carly here, and one of my operatives is pointing us in the right direction. It's the little girl, obviously." So they decide all of them now. You know, Captain America, Battlestar, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Zemo, Baron Zemo. They all go following this girl to where they believe Carly is, and that's where they're having the funeral as well. Now, Sam tells everyone else, "Listen, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to talk to Carly and defuse the situation." And you see moments with Lamar as well, Battlestar. He's like also telling Walker here, "Listen, mate, if we could just talk her out of this, then everything's great. You know, we don't have to go in, get guns blazing. This is the best way to deal with the situation." So Walker reluctantly agrees. He handcuffs fucking Zemo, obviously, and then Sam goes in there.
By the way, I called this.
Yeah,
I called this. I said, "Right, you bloody idiots."
We're going to get to that. Don't jump ahead. We're going to get to all of that. So Sam,
it's still foolish.
But Sam, he lets the funeral play out. Yeah, and Carly notice even he lets the funeral play out, even though Carly and him, they notice each other, and then they start talking about ethics and what is right once the funeral is over. Now, Sam very much agrees with a lot of Carly, what Carly aspires to, but not how she's doing it, if you know what I mean. And that's where the disagreement is.
So I think this is the biggest, what's the word, BLM parallel ever, because there's people who agree with a lot with what BLM stands for, but what was not necessarily with what they do.
I really don't see it like that. I just see it more. It's not, honestly, because I look at it more from a more global. Like, I think we're more globalized as a society, boss man. You know, people are in all different countries, all over the world, and you know, it's like the nationalistic ideals is no longer there anymore. It's just more about people who are in similar situations, maybe in poverty, for instance. That's how they are universally the same and they get along, not because of what country they're from, but what economic status they're in. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Obviously, you can see parallels to other things, but you know, things like the Black Lives Matter movement kind of started, you know, pretty much while this was being filmed. You know, it's not like they were using that as inspiration.
People have said that's what is critique. People have said that's what it's critiquing.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But if they knew better, they would know that this was being filmed when probably George Floyd was being killed at the time, unfortunately. So it's just coincidental in certain things, but it's not like it's not still emanates from what has gone on a lot in society, so people can relate to a lot of this shit anyway. I mean, this is like this picture here of John Walker, and we'll get to him. I mean, he's in another fucking country with a bloody shield of America, you know what I mean, doing his thing. I mean, he's kind of giving you an idea of what people think of this country for a start, but we'll get to that later. back to Carly and Sam. Their conversation unfortunately gets interrupted. Captain America comes in. He's very frustrated. He manages to get past Bucky after telling him, "Listen, your partner is in there. You're going to leave him to be with this flag smasher." And I think eventually that tips Bucky to let him go. But Bucky's still with him because he doesn't want shit to get out of hand. Unfortunately, Carly's spooked by everyone being there because Sam said that he was alone. And so Carly runs off. And Zemo's of it has escaped too, and he tracks down Carly as she's run off, and starts shooting her, and she drops a lot of the vials, all the serum vials. They're fucking splattering everywhere, and Zemo realizes what this is, and this is instantly an end to any idea that Zemo is the fucking power broker, which is the most stupidest theory I've ever heard. Yeah, but nevertheless, Zemo starts smashing those vials up. Yeah, he's not having it. I really love that. And you heard all the Civil War music being played and stuff like that. It was fantastic. But Walker knocks him out, finds one vial of serum, and takes it. What do you think of all of that?
Well, again, I actually thought, and again, like because of what happens with Zemo in the comics, he was actually going to like inject it into his body. But no, when he started smashing it, I was like, considering what Zemo's been through throughout this whole thing and what he's been trying to do, it makes sense to his character that that's what he wanted to do. But it's like smashing things and stuff like that. And then
he doesn't want any more super soldiers. He's totally against it, dude. He killed all of those super soldiers in the Civil War.
Yes, so like, to be honest, it didn't really surprise me that John Walker took the last one and put it in his pocket. I was like, is he going to take that? And I think that's what's cool about this episode is that it's a bit nebulous whether he's going to take it or not. So until
I was very curious on how he was to apply the serum because
I think it's injection.
Yeah, but we never see it. We never saw the Flag Smashers get the serum. We never saw anybody else get the serum. We never saw Walker take the serum. And it would be nice to see how because this is a different serum to what Erskine did because he needed a big machine and everything, man. And he had shitloads of vials as well, tons of vials. This is just a little one. I mean, maybe just stick it into your neck, who knows? But so he takes it. So Carly and some other the flag mashers have escaped, and they realize they've got two problems now they have to deal with. They have to deal with Walker and Lamar and Falcon with the soldier. That's one problem in its own sense, Zemo, all of them, as well as the fucking power broker. But their plan is, because Captain America is like a symbol of America and they're about no borders and shit like that, their plan is to kill Captain America. So Zemo's recovering from his headaches, and he has a little debate with Sam about the serum. Now, he even tells Sam, would you take the serum if you took it? And with no hesitancy, Sam says no. And then Bucky comes in, and he thinks that Walker is losing his mind. And then next thing you know, Walker comes in, and he's demanding answers. And he wants to have a fight, actually, with Sam. He's so fucking pissed off. He puts the shield down. But before Sam could throw fucking arms.
I think at this point, he's not taking it. He's not taking it. Sorry.
No, he hasn't taken it. He hasn't taken it at this point. And this is the point where he realizes he needs to take it. Yeah, because the Wakandans come in and they throw their spear and shit. And I have to be honest with you. I didn't like the way Walker was dealing with the Wakandans, but I thought the Wakandans should have been a tiny bit more diplomatic in this sort of situation. But they're warriors, these women, they're bodyguards. You know what I mean? The diplomacy is for people like T'Challa. But I don't think T'Challa would have been too happy with maybe the treatment of Sam and Bucky by the Wakandans, as they were allies and they fought alongside each other. But, in Endgame and shit. So, sorry, let's see. Okay, so anyway, let me quickly get back to my notes. I do apologize. So Sam and Bucky, they do intervene and they do stop the fight because at times it looked like they could. At times they looked like they were going to kill them. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Walker putting the shield up, he would have got stabbed. And he's lucky his shield is made of vibranium because any other material, that fucking spear would have probably pierced it. With that spear was
By the way, this had one of the coolest scenes of all time. When, like, I think I'm not sure what her name is. The lady who's talking to before.
Yeah.
Does like a little almost like a key point.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that.
Fall.
I'm gonna get to that, but I wasn't too happy with some of the fight scenes in this. I found them very choppy. A bit too choppy for my liking.
I think that was the point. Is that because
I didn't like it. I want to see actual I'm in the stage now, boss man, where if you can't give me choreographed fight scenes, then you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Because no, this choppy shit is too old. Is old school for my liking. You know what I mean? It's a way of it's a cheap way of doing a fight. And if you can't focus on what you're watching, then what the fuck? I mean, I'm here to watch a fight, not some choppy shit. But nevertheless, we got that great scene you just mentioned, AO. When Bucky's trying to defuse the situation, she takes his fucking arm off, and that actually ends the fight because Zemo has escaped.
I mean, she basically does like 3-point.
Yeah, some Kill Bill shit, bruv. You know what I mean, with the fucking heart punch and stuff. You know what I mean, the Kill Bill with the fucking arm, and the next thing the arm comes off and stuff. It's good to see that he's able to just slot it back on and stuff. They built a socket into his arm, so he's able to take it off. Who knows? Maybe in the future, he'll have like a rocket arm and stuff like that. He's able to change his arms in the future. Who knows? I personally wish his arm had a bit of tech in it. That would be really cool. It'd be like a left-handed Misty Knight. You know what I mean? So now Walker feels defeated at this particular moment. You know, after the Wakandans leave, like they weren't, as far as he was concerned, they weren't super soldiers. Even though they might take some of that purple flower, which some people believe is some form of super soldier serum, but as far as he's concerned, they're not super soldiers. You know, if he's at all, overly emasculated, he might think, shit, we just lost to a bunch of women too. So he can't fucking believe it, as far as he's concerned. And he's really dejected by this, and Lamar picks him up and shit like that. And then they end up having a chat with some coffee and stuff. And this is probably the first time I've seen Walker in regular clothes.
By the way, I think the acting in this is superb, because the thing is, I think this is where we see that winning a Medal of Honor isn't fun, because like literally it's the worst day of your life, and you've got to relive it over and over and over and over and over and over again. I don't know how helpful that is, but it's not as many as it should be. Because there's actually a really good documentary. I know Jerry Clarkson did it on the Victoria Cross, which is basically the British version of the Medal of Honor, where like the people who've won it said that it is like basically reliving the worst day of your life, repeatedly forever. It says even though it is something that we're proud of, it's something we'd rather not go through because of those reasons.
Yeah, I agree, and I totally. This is fucking war, man. But I looked at it from a different perspective, boss man. Like, it was regarding what the serum does to you. Now, the serum, remember, like with Erskine, it makes, Erskine said to Steve Rogers, it makes a good person better, and it can make a bad person worse. Now, in Walker's case, he's not necessarily an out and out good. He's not necessarily an out and out good person. He's not necessarily an out and out bad person. But it depends on. But losing Lamar, in my opinion, kind of made him into a bad person, and the serum makes him go that direction.
What I'd argue is that he's probably got PTSD from that war.
Yeah, of course he has, dude. I
think
that couples with it.
Plus, the thing is that he wants to prove himself. So the thing is, you got these two things which are creating this powder keg, and the thing is, Wyatt Russell has played this part to perfection. I don't care.
Let's not go to the end just yet, though. I don't want to jump too far.
No. I'm not going too far. I'm saying that to this point, Wyatt Russell has played this part to perfection, because you can see where it's going. That he's trying to be a good person. He's trying to live up to the
moniker. Yeah.
Because again, it'd be like if it's like with any hero, it's like with Superman. When any actor plays Superman, there is a certain level that you have to reach. It's when you play Batman, there's a certain level. I mean, I don't. But the thing is that it's the same thing here.
Yeah, but this is the first time we're getting a John Walker on the screen. He's not playing Captain America. Steve Rogers. He's playing John Walker.
This is real life. The Captain America before him.
Yeah.
You know, sacrificing himself all the time for people. Was heroic? You know, was this thing that even to the point that in Homecoming, he was literally the face of the detention video, the gym videos, all these other corporate, academic shit. That he was this like model person that you had to model himself over, and that's what he's living up to. I mean, who could live up to that? You'd have to be a very, very special person.
Well, he was only picked because of his athletic prowess and he was reasonably smart.
And also, he's a multi-hero.
Yeah, exactly. But his character, which is, unfortunately, he's a soldier. Like, he's almost more of a drone, a good drone, than any character under that. And he, whatever character he might have had is kind of destroyed by the PTSD and all the fucking shit he's been through. And anyway, they talk about Lamar and Walker. They talk while they're having coffee and discussing what happened with the Wakandans. They talk about if Lamar would take the super soldier serum, and Lamar in a heartbeat said yes, he would. And then they obviously mention the things about the personality traits. You know, what would it do to you? And they're worried. And Walker tells Lamar, "What do you think it would do to me?" And that's when he mentions his war record and stuff. But that's his record. That's not his personality. You know what I mean?
But I think for him, his record is personality because again he's been trained from.
No, I disagree, man.
Because a lot of kids, especially when they're growing up in pretty rough neighborhoods, and then the military shapes them into being a different person. If you ever speak to anybody,
I get all of that, but that's still not. He says to him, "You got 3 medals. You got 3 war medals." What does that fucking mean? And how he's going to be as a person? That could be anything. You know what I mean? That could still mean he could be a Steve Rogers, or it could still mean that he could be a fucking Red Skull. It could go either way, man. You know what I mean? It could go either way, as far as I'm concerned. You know, it doesn't mean enough. You've got to see the actual character. How is he around other people? You see how he spoke to the Wakandans. But this is before he took the serum. He was very, he spoke. He has that woman. He put that hands on that fucking woman like he's got the right to. Yeah.
But that's the reason why he shouldn't have taken it, because he has obvious anger issues.
No, but he's got no respect. But your point, he sticks away. He puts his hand on fucking Ayo. No wonder he got his ass fucking kicked, yeah? And that's the sort of shit that ended up kind of, to a degree, his arrogance, his egotisticalness. That's kind of what, kind of spurted out in bigger examples as we see later on when he finally takes it. But look, let's continue.
Okay.
Carly calls Sarah, which is Sam's sister, and tells Sarah to get Sam for me, and to get Sam to meet me. And Sam is now decked out in Falcon gear. He's actually really pissed off. Like, what the fuck, Carly? You're ringing my sister, for fuck's sake. And she actually threatened the sister and the kids as well. And Sam is pissed off, rightfully so. Carly's telling him to come alone, but Sam's not fucking listening to her this time, because Bucky comes and Sam doesn't, say no to that. He wants him to come. You know what I mean? You can see Sam and Bucky really bonding in this episode. They're not bickering. They've actually got each other's back, with this, and they're defending each other. They believe in each other. So especially Bucky. Bucky really believes in Sam a lot, when it comes to around other people.
Well, the thing is that I think that they're legitimately friends, and I think that's one thing that this show had to get right. And I think in this point here, they're friends, because he said, "I'll have your back on this." Yeah,
I agree. I think they don't realize they've become friends now. You know what I mean? Because they even mentioned, your partner, and Bucky says, he's not my partner. But later on, when he gets told that he's your partner again, Bucky doesn't say he isn't. You know what I mean? So yeah, they don't realize. I don't think they realize they're starting to bond now. But anyway, Carly. So yeah, so Sammy's decked out in his Falcon gear. He's got Bucky with him, and Carly wants to kill Captain America. Now Sharon also tells Sam that Walker is on his way, because remember, earlier on Sam was dealing with Sharon and wanted the satellite information. Well, because of that, Sharon was able to tell Sam that Walker was on his way. Walker knows this. Carly hears this, and she legs it again. Now Lamar and Walker are still searching for the Flag Smashers and Carly and stuff, and Lamar then disappears from Walker. The Flag Smashers have him tied up. We then see Walker beating the fuck out of some of the Flag Smashers, because by this time he kind of realized he's taken the serum. Yeah. I kind of wondered, when he threw his shield and you see it deep in that wall, I thought, fuck me, that shield's kind of deep in the wall. And when he barges,
well, I do as soon as he pushed that guy, and that guy went flying.
Oh yeah, that's when I definitely knew. That's when I had no doubt.
I was like, holy fuck!
But there's a couple of times, because when he barged through that door and he was listening, there's times when you don't realize what the serum is. It's not just about your strength; it's your senses.
It's also your athleticism as well.
But
his athleticism before he took the famous.
He was listening. There's one point where he just kept quiet. He was just hearing things. And he was trying to listen, and you could tell that his senses had picked up as well. Maybe even his smell, maybe his instinct. All of these sort of things, they've heightened, and he finds the Flag Smashers. Obviously, they have a tussle, and when he pushes him through that wall, there is no doubt after that he has taken the fucking serum. He gets the pipe and he bends it, and that guy goes shit. And this is where Walker has got a superior advantage on everyone else, boss man, because he is already a trained fighter. He's already an athlete. These people were just regular Joes who just took it and became powerful. He was already a strong guy anyway.
He's a trained soldier, so he's trained QCQ, which is close combat, so he knows how to fight and stuff like that.
He's an athletic man anyway. He's obviously, he's got, as a regular human being, he far exceeds most people. And then he takes the serum as well on top of that. He's going to be, and he knows how to fight, legitimately fight. Yeah, these people have got no chance against him. You could take on 3 or 4 Flag Smashers, and you probably kick their asses. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool. Sam sees this and says, "What have you done?" But he teams up with Sam, saying that, look, they've got Lamar. We need to take down the remaining of the Flag Smashers. Lamar manages to free himself, and then as he runs into the fight himself, he stops Carly from. Carly was going to kill Walker at that particular point. Did you see that? Walker was being held back by the dude he ends up killing later on, but Carly was being held by him. Sorry, Walker was being held by him, and Carly was going to stab him. Lamar comes in for the save, and then Carly punches Lamar so hard that he hits a pillar and kills himself. And that's when people think, shit, this playing superheroes is it has its
when he let down and said it's actually Lamar, I was like, oh my god, you can actually see when he does that. I think you see before the Snake Plissken phase where he does that. Oh fuck, he snapped. And I thought this was a wonderful piece of acting by White Russell, by the way. The fact that you didn't have to say anything, you could see that he snapped.
Yeah, well, I knew instantly he was going to lose his shit, because you have to also understand, boss man, that Lamar was probably one of the few people that kind of kept Walker's feet on the ground. He was pretty much his conscience. He was his
Jimmy Cricket.
Yeah, and he kept him maybe from doing anything stupid, was Lamar. And with Lamar now dead, and this is a guy he had fought and fucking won medals and wars with, and now he's dead right next to him, after fighting alongside this guy for years. And this is a moment of realization of what's happened here. And I kind of find that it's a bit weird though in the filming, because they were willing to kill Captain America. They kill his sidekick and they start going, oh shit. I found that a bit weird.
No, it's because the way that he got up, and I thought the way he got up, I was like, oh fuck, and he started just running after, like, you can see them, and he's just like started hurdling stuff, and then but so go to the next bit.
No, well, this is like when you see him like finally lose his shit, Walker that is, after like trying to wake up Lamar, and Lamar's not coming out of this sleep, and he just jumps out the fucking window. That superhero landing as well, absolutely beautiful. And he's throwing that shield at this flag smasher, the one who was holding him back earlier, and he wants to know where Carly is. And at the same time, there's people around everywhere. And this is the thing. This is the difference. This is what I'm trying to make other people understand. Yeah. He is supposed to be representing law and order right now. And he isn't. The guy is being caught. The guy, he killed your friend dead. But you still got to be the law here. You've caught the guy. And you didn't. And I'm so glad what happened next. Yeah, because this is the John Walker I fucking want. Yeah. This is the John Walker I was.
By the way, I've got to say, this last 10 minutes, I know you're going to maybe disagree, was supreme acting by Wyatt Russell.
It was good, man. I liked it.
He you could tell by his eyes that he'd gone.
Yeah,
I know probably in real life he hadn't, but from his eyes alone, you could tell he's gone. Looks like he does not give a fuck about the fact that people are taking video cameras of him. He just don't give a fuck about what the police are going to say. He literally, the guy's going, I didn't do it. And he literally goes, come back. And I was just like, oh my God.
That was the bit where you realize that he didn't give a shit, as what you said, about anybody around him. And everyone had their phones out. And they were filming him prior to him killing that dude, because he was throwing his shield around like a madman, knocking him down, taking him off balance. And then the way he did that. Now, I have to be honest with you, some of the editing here was, I don't care that they don't show the actual mutilations. You just have to imagine it. But there's a couple of times we still saw the guy's face and nothing happened to him. And I thought to myself, please don't edit it like that. Just don't show his face. You can show the blood afterwards. You can show his bloody hand. That's cool.
But just when he's like that dude, I'm like, oh my God. It's like, and then when he comes back with that.
That's a horrible way to die, by the way.
Yeah,
because he got
being impaled with a flaming round object.
Yeah, with the edge of that shield, that being. Oh man.
Yeah, and when he stands up with it, and he just thoughts like that, and he's just like, we're
like the picture.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to say, and again, Wyatt Russell is killing it as John Washington. What's the word?
He's my favorite character. Now, this is how the episode ends, and I want to say this right now. I am loving this. This is what I love. This, like, I'm very upset with the universe who don't appreciate a good bad guy, but if anything, are so lost in an alternative reality, they end up hating the bad guy like he really is a legitimate bad guy.
But to me, that means he's actually doing his job, because the thing is, Wyatt Russell is playing such a dick that people think he's that in real life, which he's actually probably
no. But I have a problem with society not understanding it's a fucking film, boss man. I really do. I don't
TV series.
A TV series. I don't care how good he is. It's a fucking actor, and they should know better, because we shouldn't be living in a society where people are that stupid, boss man. That should not be acceptable. That should never be acceptable, man.
Do you know Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I know Game. I watched the whole bloody thing.
Right. Yeah. Do you know the one who played? What's her name? The one who played
Cersei.
Yeah, she got a lot of shit. She talks about it. She talks about, like, she said, "Hey, you that bitch from Game of Thrones." She was like, "No, I'm not a bitch." She said, "I'm an actress who plays a part."
Yeah, and this is what upsets me, because whilst these people are emotionally stupid, and I won't insult them for this, boss man, because you've got to be fucking stupid not to know that this is fiction. Yeah, this is supposed to be entertainment. I'm entertained because he is so fucking bad. He's such a horrible human being. I love the character being who's supposed to be a horrible human being, be a horrible human being, and I appreciate that. And
also he's been played by a great actor, because, like, Wyatt Russell has talked about in things I've seen, that he thought he shit the interview because he's actually a nice guy. He said, right, I just keep playing it as myself. And they said, no, we want something with a bit more grit. Can you come back to us? So basically, he took 5 minutes away, got really pissed off, and came back and gave them that performance. It's like, and that's what we got. Is it again? He's great at being a bad guy, and the thing is, we're supposed to hate him. He's supposed to be unlikable because of this. Because again, he's supposed to be this.
He's supposed to be a bad guy, but I just don't accept him. Look, there's been lots of films and stuff, with villains or whatever. I expect people still to be moving on, but I just don't want to live in a society where people don't know the difference between fiction and reality. Because these are not people like Wyatt Russell shouldn't be the people you should be going after. It should be your fucking politicians. Those are the real bad guys, not people like Wyatt Russell, who's giving us entertainment. And he's so good at his fucking role as being a bad guy. I appreciate how good he is at being bad, not angry at it.
Yeah, but the thing is that if he's getting hate, he's doing his job well. That's where that.
No. You're not looking at it from my perspective. I don't like the fact that people are getting triggered by a fucking performance. I'm living in a society full of people who are that stupid. It upsets me that I have to be surrounded by these people. There's enough stupid people as it is. Don't be that so fucking stupid that you can't understand that this is television. This ain't fucking real.
Okay, so let's say for example, I'll give you one of the most famous examples ever. Let's say, for example, I say I hate Heath Ledger's Joker is that I hate the way that he acts. He's a terrorist. He does all this sort of stuff. But his performance is brilliant because I hate it. I hate him as a character.
Yeah, no, but I don't get it. How do you actually like it? You actually like it. You don't hate it. You can't say I hate it. You actually like it. That's the thing. You're liking it, but you're getting so triggered by it. Yeah, people are getting so triggered by it. Like this is a genuine, real life person. It upsets me.
That's what that does.
I'm getting triggered.
Emotionally connect.
No, but I'm getting triggered by real life people being triggered by fucking fiction. You know what I mean?
But I think they know that it's fiction.
Really? They're sending this guy fucking death threats.
That's Wyatt Russell, not actually John Walker.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell. They're sending an actor. Yeah,
for heaven's sake.
You know what I mean? They're sending Wyatt Russell death threats. They're saying, like, you're seeing comments like Wyatt Russell, Wyatt Russell had to cancel his fucking his Instagram account because of all the shit he was getting. You know what I mean? Sorry? Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, boss man. That's what I'm saying.
It's really telling me that people kind of differentiate between the actor and his character you actually portrays.
That's what I'm trying to say, man. You know what I mean?
See, because I don't mind it going towards the character because the character is supposed to be a dick. But the actor, no, the actor doesn't want that. He's an actor.
Yeah, I know. And this is the planet. This is the planet we live on, mate. You know what I mean? And but I don't want to go into that too much because we are going to talk about that in another video later on. We'll be doing with Bob as well. We've got something planned later on where we're going to be talking about John Walker. We're going to be showing off some of the tweets and delving in more on the stupidity and the psychology of fanboy, because we're wrestling. I'm a former wrestling fan. I think you're still a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I'm still
marks are bad things, man. Like, come on, you got to know that this is fucking not real. These guys are fucking having beers after the fucking matches. They're not fucking hating on each other. So we're going to be discussing a little bit of all this sort of shit, boss man, in another video at a future time.
Well, as I said, the thing is, I think, as I said, this shows me again. I don't think it will. But again, it should. They should get Wyatt Russell a Emmy or a Golden Globe nomination because if he's connecting with people this much that they're willing to take it beyond the character he's playing to him, that shows that he's doing something that's pissing people off, and that's what he's supposed to do. He's a villain.
I just don't want it to get like people like Jake Lloyd. Remember back in the day with Jake?
Oh
Lloyd?
Yeah, that was disgusting.
I just sometimes the abuse like celebrities get, for instance, like when just going on a tangent here, like I don't like it when Arsenal lose and we lose a lot and we're not playing games, but I don't go on Twitter and start abusing Aubameyang for missing a sitter and shit like that, and all the racism he gets. And it's a similar thing a lot with these actors and stuff who are playing villains. He's like, come on, man, this guy is just a fucking actor, for fuck's sake. No, just be smart. You can be upset. Maybe sometimes I can be upset with a performance, but I don't think he's acted well or whatever. That's not the
Well,
case.
this is the opposite.
That's not the case. That's not the case. You know what I mean?
He's actually acting really, really well.
He's acting really well.
Because the thing is that through this entire series, he's not been likable. He's been understandable. You can understand where it's coming from.
I like him. I
love.
No.
What I mean is that I like certain aspects of him. The fact that he's this war hero, that he wants to be the same person that Steve Rogers is. The thing is, he's not Steve Rogers, because Steve Rogers, when he got the shot, had not seen any service. He's seen service. He's literally won 3 medals of honor. He's probably has PTSD, which is affecting his cognitive ability, and all the things that are happening to him are pushing him towards not being the best person. And the thing is that he's now holding the moniker of Captain America, and basically, like that blood stain there, it's symbolically and literally staining the shield of Captain America.
This is America. That's America today, as far as I'm concerned. But I look at it from this perspective. I knew who John Walker was in the comics. I knew he was a totally different person to Steve Rogers. This is the John Walker I wanted to see in this. Remember last week I told you there wasn't enough brutality? I got it this week. That's what I want. If you're gonna give us a character of John Walker, you've got to give us John Walker, and we got John Walker. So I'm happy from that perspective, because he portrayed the character I want him to be. This fucking totally different version in America, and I want this guy to be Captain America. I don't even want Sam to get it just yet. To get it maybe a little bit later. If he ends up being US agent, I still want him to have a fucking shield. He needs that shield. He needs a shield, just like that one, a different version, whatever. But I want John Walker to be around after this season ends. Do not kill this motherfucker off.
I agree with that. I agree. Well, again, I want why Russell's come back, because, as I said, I do think that, he said a lot without saying anything. His mannerisms a lot when he was doing that. When Lamar died, he again. That said everything without actually saying anything. And I thought that's a great piece of acting. Because, again, there's moments in here, and I know that I know this is going to say, you're going to say, oh, that's a, again, he has a lot of his father's mannerisms in good ways. That he can show, what emotion he's feeling without actually literally saying, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling sad. He literally could just say it with his face. When he's going,
for sure.
You can tell, but he's happy, because when he's having coffee with Lamar, he's smiling. He's happy. He's when those girls came up and asked for his autograph, he was smiling and happy. You can literally tell that being the Lamar made him happy and grounded it, as you were saying before, grounded him. But when Lamar died, I think the last part of what kept him grounded died with him.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now he's going to be a loose cannon. It's going to be really interesting to see. He might end up being the final, even though I think Power Broker, because I don't think Power Broker is like a physical villain they'll be able to fight. He's a brain. He'll have henchmen and shit. Once you get past them, Power Broker, you could flick him and you'll probably die. But I do think when it comes to the physicality and the fights, I think maybe Walker will be like a end-level boss for them to fight. Maybe even Sam to fight, Sam versus Walker, and Sam not being a super soldier, Walker being a super soldier, and he defeats him and shows him mercy as well, which, it doesn't kill him. Maybe he has the opportunity to kill him the same way Walker killed that kid, but he doesn't. It shows him mercy. I'm just theorizing, but Walker must not die. I'll be gutted if they kill him off. I can't see Zemo dying, by the way. Zemo's definitely.
Well, the thing is that Zemo's disappeared, so we don't know where he's gone.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Do you think Zemo will come back? Because I think Zemo, at the moment, Zemo's worried about the Wakandans because they want his head. Yeah, they're not fucking around. Yeah, those Wakandans. And that's who he's running away from, not from Sam and Bucky. I think he's willing to go back to Sam and Bucky once the coast is clear. Because I do find Zemo to be a little bit of an honorable man, and he wants to stop these super soldiers, which is probably his priority more than anything. What do you think?
I think that I'm trying to think what. Sorry.
You're right, boss man.
Mel just picking up. Sorry about that. No, I do think that he's probably gone for the series. I reckon he's gone for the series. Because when he disappeared, you don't know where he's gone. Unless he puts himself back into jail, what's he going to do?
I like Cousin Cheeto's comment here. I think he'll go after the Flag Smashers and possibly Walker as well. Yeah, for sure. But he's no match for them. He's going to have to figure out a way of killing them without. He'll probably want to try and shoot them or something like that. But like Walker is like he's like become like the Terminator now, man. He's going to be really hard to stop. And you know what the funny thing is, the Power Broker, he says he's going to constantly kill the Flag Smashers. The Flag Smashers should be able to take on the Power Brokers. No? Power Broker and his crew.
Well, that's why I'm thinking it's going to be a fairly powerful villain. Because again, he's got to kill people with the Super Soldier Silver movement.
Fair enough.
So that's why I'm saying he's got to be Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom is. But again, I agree with you. I can't see them bringing him in to something like this, unless it's like him, Sam's power.
Maybe hints to him, but definitely, yeah, I know what you mean. Sorry, I had one more thing to say, but it's kind of I've lost my train of thought.
That's all right.
So regarding where we think we're going to be going next week, because actually, I remembered now. Have you seen the trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier? Like the trailers before the show came out?
No, I wanted to go in cold.
Okay, fine, and I'm not going to talk about any more on that. But I will say this: where do you think the show is going to be going next?
Well, after this, I think the videos of him killing that guy are going to go viral.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I think that's going to cause like miss.
But he's in another country as well. By the way, he's supposed to be in Latvia. He's in another fucking country, and he's just fucking killed some person in the middle of the street with the shield in front of everyone.
I thought it was Germany with that little Joe with the statue and stuff like that. I thought it was Germany.
No, it's Latvia. That's where the hideout was.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to happen is that he come. I reckon what's going to happen is that video goes viral, and then the US government thinks, how do we slowly take down his role because he's calling it a bad PR or something like that. So the people who employed him and made him PR, like maybe like try to step in, but because he's like Super Soldier maniac, he doesn't really listen to him.
I think at the end of this season, and me and Bob have spoken about this, is that he'll probably end up with the Thunderbolts, or he'll be on course of going with the Thunderbolts.
Maybe. But I can generally see him being in part of like a new villain faction.
I can see Sharon Carter being in the Thunderbolts as well. And the reason being Sharon Carter will be fundamental is because she's probably the only one, if she ends up not being the power broker, she's probably the only one with the closest thing to a moral core amongst them. And they'll probably need that moral core amongst the Thunderbolts. And I can imagine Sharon Carter being that moral core, being a Carter for a start, for fuck's sake, being Peggy's great niece and stuff. So, being associated with Captain America and all that, she's part of that brand. So, yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to bring in Black Widow's sister, and obviously Zemo's going to probably end up joining as well at the end of this season. There's a good possibility of all of that. But I don't know if that's going to happen next week, but because we still got 2 episodes left. But yeah, things feel like they need to come to an end a little bit, but we still haven't seen the power broker. Do you think we'll see him next week, or do you think we'll see the power broker?
Well, how many episodes are in this season?
6 episodes, when we've done 4 already.
So we're on 4, so we've got 2 more left. I can't see that if they bring him in physically, I'll be very surprised.
This is why I feel
it's to bring him in, like, let's say for example, like some of his goons come out. This is why I think Doom, because Doom has like little versions of himself. So if you like see like Doom bots or something like that, they were like, "Oh, it's fucking Doom."
No, but I'm just saying, like, if it's I'm not outside of Doom. I just feel it's got to be somebody we know now, because if it was somebody we didn't know, they would have introduced him a lot earlier. Because there's no twist in somebody we don't know.
I'm trying to think who could be who's still alive.
If it's not Sharon Carter, then fuck knows. You could, Isaiah Bradley was Bob's suggestion. That's a bit far fetched, as far as I'm concerned. They would have to really make it work for me.
Mr. Negative. All right.
It doesn't work for me.
Because Bobby's saying Mr. Negative because I said it the other week.
I just don't see it working. I need to see it. He's in the show and stuff, but you need to show me how that makes sense. Yeah,
Doctor Doom makes sense. Doctor Doom makes sense considering what he wanted.
Yeah, but Doctor Doom would be bringing in a brand new character at the end of this show, and people would have to know that he won't be Doctor Doom. He'll be Victor Von Doom.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So it'll be Victor Von Doom.
This is it because he accumulates power. He wants that for himself, and also
Victor Von Doom is pre-Doctor Doom. What has Victor Von Doom been? Has he always been a gangster? I thought he was a scientist.
He was a scientist.
Yeah, so it just feels out of place then. You know what I mean? That he's a fucking bloody, he's a bloody mob boss. It doesn't feel Doctor Doom. The more I think about it, I think please don't let it be Doctor Doom. Fucking Victor Von Doom, the mob boss. Oh God, I wouldn't want that. Honestly, I really wouldn't.
I think it's because I'm such a Doctor Doom mark. I think you might have because when it comes to charismatic villains, Doctor Doom is like top of the top.
All right, but outside
of
markism, you're getting too marky now, and you're thinking, why I love Doctor Doom so much. Outside of that, who else could it be who is currently in the show? Who makes sense
to accumulate power?
Who's still alive? For instance, like some people said, for instance,
here's legitimately who I think it's going to be.
Okay.
A&M.
Who?
AIM.
AIM. No, who is AIM? Like, what the fuck is AIM, man?
It's the thing that MODOK runs. Because
there's a couple of people, in my opinion, who it could be. Cousin Cheetah just mentioned it right now. Is a good one. Here's a good one, yeah. This guy's still part of the MCU. We haven't seen him in over 10 years. But the fucking leader from fucking Edward Norton, yeah? Yeah, I know AIM, but I'm talking about AIM is a fucking organization, Cousin Cheeto. It's not an individual. Who the fucking power broker is what? AIM. Like, what the fuck? One person is an organ. That's what I'm trying to fucking say. God damn it. God, yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay, I had to fucking tell, man. Anyways, fuck it. Anyways,
but again, the leader could be one, or it could be the
Walter Goggins character. You remember Walter Goggins from fucking Ant-Man and the Wasp? Those are more. Look, well, don't get me wrong. I can't imagine Walter Goggins being the fucking power broker because his character was a fucking doofus fucking mob guy, not some fucking mastermind who the power broker would be. But these are still more legitimate.
The leader actually makes sense if you think about it that way.
Well, the power broker, like some people are saying that it could be the Mandarin, and the Mandarin is more likely is a better shot. You know what I mean?
Because he's not these, he doesn't need anything super soldier syndrome.
But he's more of a mob boss, in that sense. He deals with arms and shit like that. Now, that's more of his sort of thing. But don't get me wrong, I don't think it's the Mandarin either. Yeah. I don't think it's the Mandarin. Yeah, but we're talking as an individual here, Tito. I don't know if he's trolling me, pretending that he's trolling me because he's so fucking stupid that he realized, oh shit. Yeah, I meant to say, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Because I don't want him to think.
It's a spread in the chat with everybody's aim.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Oh, God, I'm losing my fucking train of thought. Bobby's really making me lose.
Right. So what do you think he's going to be?
I said Sharon Carter earlier. If it's anybody in the MCU previous, I can't think of anybody who is alive and who is a bad guy who could do it, other than possibly the leader, which would be for me an excellent one to bring back. And he would be a good way to bring back because you'll be bringing him back on the undercurrent. You could be bringing him back here and having him set up. You could be having the leader set up then for the She-Hulk series. It could be a good segue into that. You think it's Carter or Bradley? I'm just saying that I just think now that at this stage it has to be somebody we know. They can't introduce a new character this late in the game and make us give a fuck about this mysterious person, because the fans won't give a fuck about who this is. But people have, this is one thing that if we doesn't get paid off well, I think it's going to be a letdown who the power broker is. The revelation of the power broker is a big fucking deal in my opinion, and I think some part of the show, how good the show will be, a part of it, not all of it, will be on that revelation, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. So let's leave it as that. Hope part 5 is next week. Can't wait for it. I'm looking forward to it already. We're home stretch. It feels like that home stretch is coming now. I don't know what's going to be happening in the next episode, but looking at John Walker's Shield, I want them to continue from where this episode left off, because Sam and Bucky saw this shit. Yeah, and this is where I want the next episode to begin. All right, boss man, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a great show. Thank you very much who's been watching as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be back talking more about some of the stupidness the actor Wyatt Russell's been receiving, death threats and stupid tweets and hatred. And maybe we also further this debate and stuff. You know, I personally feel that if you genuinely hate somebody, you know, they actually make you hate them. Yeah, when you should be appreciating how good they are at being an evil character. That's how I look.
Yeah, exactly.
Hate them. If this person makes you hate them, yeah, then there's something wrong with you.
Well, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Throw all your hate at the character, right? But remember, there's a differentiation.
No, they shouldn't have hate, boss man. They shouldn't have.
No. Let me explain what I mean. Let me explain what I mean. Throw your hate at John Walker. Wyatt Russell is an actor. He's portrayed a character. He does not deserve your hate. Actually, he deserves your applause for being an actor.
Yeah,
playing a character you hate.
This is what I've been trying to say. Like, get your fucking head out your asses. Stop getting triggered by fictional fucking characters. Be more upset about what's really happening in this world. Look at your fucking politicians for a start. Throw your fucking energy of hate and anger towards them more than fucking Wyatt Russell pretending to be somebody who you should be appreciating because he's actually triggering you guys. Look at it from that perspective, for fuck's sake. I love this character. He is now my favorite MCU character. I love him. John Walker, Captain America, I salute you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Wyatt Russell, you deserve awards for this.
Yeah, for sure.
He won't get them, but he deserves them.
Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a nice day, and we'll see you later on for another show. Bye-bye.